BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.
Part one of the course is primarily laying the groundwork for the foundation for negotiations. So really focusing on how to approach any negotiation from a win-win perspective, from an integrative negotiation strategy perspective. And in part two, we'll dig into some other aspects and negotiation details a little bit later. But part one is primarily just focused on laying the foundation for that and getting everyone kind of a common language before we dig too deep into negotiation strategy.
Really haven't been doing this for a long time. It was nice to see the way maybe it would be technically broken down in a classroom as opposed to just doing it naturally and just coming up with it in the real world and then seeing how someone would explain it in a diagram or with an acronym.
The Ugly Orange exercise is actually, I use it as a tool to establish where everybody is in the room. It can be used in different capacities depending on how a facilitator wants to use it. They can teach the lesson and then bring it in, but for my purposes, I like to use it because it shows me how people approach the negotiation and the problem and what their natural tendencies are, as well as what experience they have with negotiation and problem resolution and those sorts of things.
Practical exercises are fantastic, whether they're real world or made up, that you can apply some of those techniques and learn from them, right? Because it's not a perfect science, so that you can learn from your mistakes and then hopefully take those lessons and apply them to when you go back to work and not make the mistakes and get the best deal. Sometimes
attendees have zero at least professional negotiation experience. The only thing they may have negotiated are things like purchasing a car or the day-to-day personal items that we negotiate. Other people come into it just as a way to kind of level check and make sure that nothing has changed, or they may have perfected certain parts of negotiation, but they may want to work on fine-tuning some other parts. Yeah, the second day is where we really start getting into the details of kind of negotiation strategies of if this, then this, or how to better prepare for the different variables that can get thrown at people during a negotiation. Also what to do if a negotiation goes wrong, right? If it starts to go sideways a little bit, how do you try to get it back on course? And how do you know when to bring other people in, because the people who are currently involved just aren't going to be able to salvage the situation? So those are the primary things we focus on in part two.
Now I can take what I've learned today and apply it, day to day what I do, and then we'll come back in February for the second half of this and be able to capitalize on that and take it to the next level and see where else that'll go.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.